Hello Sunshine, it's Steph and welcome back to my YouTube channel where each week I share with you guys tips on how to turn your passions into paid gigs as a freelancer online, so that you can feel like sunshine. Give a little tap on that subscribe button below to make sure you stay up to date on what new videos come out each week with super valuable lessons about how you can get paid more online as a freelancer. And also, if you find this video helpful, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the channel overall. Okay, in my last Get Paid video, I shared with you the pros and cons of corporate work versus freelancing. It was a juicy one. I'd love it if you go check that one out as well and give me your feedback in the comments about what you think the pros and cons are and which sounds best for you. It is time for today's topic, which is how much to charge for your freelance services. Make sure you watch till the end of this video because I'm going to give you a free worksheet. That's right. It's a Canva worksheet in which you can go step by step, like how to calculate how much you should charge per hour or per project as a freelancer online. So stay till the end for that. Now this video is for anyone watching, whether you're new to freelancing, experienced, or even a pro at it. No matter where you're at on that journey, this video is for you because it's always a good idea to revisit your freelance service prices. So about every 6 months or so, I recommend that you revisit them and decide, how are they doing? Should you raise them again or keep them still for a bit? Let's get to today's lesson. I have 3 mini lessons today, all about the topic of how to price your freelancing services. You're going to learn about different service payment styles you could choose from. You're going to learn how to do a reverse calculation to determine what your hourly rate should be. And you're also going to learn how to adjust your prices over time. So let's get to the first lesson, which is payment styles. First things first, you've got to decide how you want to get paid. Like, what style do you want to get paid in? And before I show you that list of payment style options, ask yourself these questions, okay? How do you prefer to get paid? Which payment style will allow you to get paid more and get paid closer to what you feel your worth is? Also, which freelancing website or platform are you selling on, and which style is the most popular on that platform? Is this a small project that you could easily estimate like how many hours it will take you? Or is it a longer project in which you're like, I have no clue how long this will take me, right? So keep all of those questions in mind. Think about that as you now look through the list of payment styles for ways that you could get paid as a freelancer online. There are about 4 different payment styles to choose from when deciding how to price out your freelancing gig. Here we go. Their hourly rate, daily rate, project rate, and finally like a word count or length rate. All right, so let's break those down. One of those questions I said was to think about which platform you're selling on. So if you're getting onto Fiverr to sell, I want you to know that the most common ways to charge are based on the project, word count, or length. Okay, those are the most common. Whereas if you're on a website like Upwork.com, you can really use all of them. All of them work well, but really hourly rate is the one that you're using to send a proposal and like apply. So a lot of people do hourly rate on Upwork. So keep in mind where you're selling. Another question I said to keep in mind is, can you easily estimate how long a project will take you? The hourly rate or daily rate options are really great to use if you have no clue how long the project will take, because if it takes you a lot longer than expected and you charge them like an hourly rate, then you're not going to get paid for all your hours of work, right? So if you have no clue it's a large project, then I recommend that you charge based on hourly or daily rate. Whereas if it's very easy to estimate how long the project will take you, you're like, oh, I can knock this out in 30 minutes. I can knock this out in an hour. Then you may want to consider charging per project or for the word count or length. The reason I threw in that 4th payment style of like word count or length, because that's a super easy way to charge if you're selling things like writing, editing, proofreading, voiceovers, and spokesperson videos. For those, it's super easy for people to just automatically like hit buy, plug in how many words or how many pages they need, and it will automate it for you what the price will be. Because in your back end of the gig, you can have a set rate per word. So that's really easy if you're selling that style of gig. If it's not something something like that, then you may not be using word count or length, and instead you'll charge based on the project itself or the time you are spending working on it. Okay, so to make this clear, let me just give you an example of my work, for example. I am a freelance creator. I create video and photo content for the most part. And so my Fiverr videos, I've been doing this for years now, and I typically charge a project rate. That's because I can easily estimate, all right, this is gonna take me this many minutes. I'll quote them based on how long I estimate it's gonna take me. I just charge them one overall price. The reason is I'm a very fast worker. I tend to get things done twice as fast as most people. It's just the way I've always been. I've always been the first person to get assignments done in class, like that sort of thing, pretty fast. So if I charge for an hourly rate, but I'm like twice as fast as most people, I'm not really getting paid my worth. So that's how I do things on my Fiverr. But if I'm going onto Upwork and I'm submitting a proposal to try and get a job on Upwork, they tend to do things hourly, and that's fine with me. So I just put in whatever my hourly rate will be to submit a proposal. But then oftentimes when I message the people and we talk back and forth to come to a decision about what they'll pay me, I tend to propose a project rate at that point, and most of them are open to that. Hopefully that'll all make sense for you guys now. Forrester's here with me because we are shifting focus to talk about the second mini lesson today, which is reverse calculations. Reverse calculations. I want to give you an example related to Forrester. Let's say I buy a new bag of treats for Forrester, and there are 40 treats in there, and I want to divvy it up amongst a certain time period. Let's say 20 days. So I want to figure out how many treats he should get each day based on how many I have and how many days, right? So 40 treats amongst 20 days, so he's gonna get 2 treats a day. Just a general example of how you can do like a reverse calculation. So now we're gonna apply that, what your overall annual goal is to make, and we're gonna break it down, reverse calculate it to an hourly rate for you, so you can decide how much you should roughly be charging hourly for your freelancing services. So let's do a reverse calculation now for you. How much you should charge for your freelance services based on how much you want to make each year from freelancing alone, okay? So one way to do this is if you have had experience freelancing for a little bit, so you have an idea of roughly how many orders you tend to get each month, then this is a great calculation that you can do. So first off, let's do an example, and I'll try and put it all on the screen so it's very clear for you guys. If you want to make $50,000 a year from freelancing alone, divide that by the 12 months a year, you would need to make at least $4,167 a month to reach that goal. Now let's say on average you complete about 50 orders a month, and if you don't know how many orders you complete a month because you're brand new, then guesstimate, like say like I hope to get 50 orders a month or whatever the case is, if you have a lot of smaller projects. Now, of course, if you have a high ticket item in which you expect to only get a couple orders a month, then just use 3, 4, or 5 orders a month. You need to really base it on how large the project is that you're doing, how much time you want to spend on this, and what you expect the popularity of your gig will be. Okay, so back to those numbers. You gotta make over $4,000 a month to reach your 50 grand total a year goal. If you complete 50 orders a month, so you would divide 4,167 by 50, then you need to make at least $83 per order. Most of my orders are under 1 minute long videos, and they take me about 15 minutes total to plan, film, edit, and deliver the video. So now that I know that if I have 50 orders a month, I need to make at least $83 per order. So most of my orders take about 15 minutes of my time. I need to be charging at least $83 for 15 minutes of my time. Now, if I equate that to an hourly rate, $83 for 15 minutes, multiply it by 4 to get my hourly rate, then that means my hourly rate would be $332. So that's how I do that reverse calculation of annual goal down to an hourly rate, and roughly use that number in the back of my mind when I'm making quotes to buyers. Now, another option is if you just want to screw that reverse calculation altogether and just be like, you know what, screw it. I want to have an hourly rate of $100 an hour. I think that sounds great. Then you can just pick at that on your own without doing any calculations, any planning. That's also fine. Now keep in mind that of course you'll want to redo this calculation or this hourly rate number every year or so. You know, the more experience you get, the more orders you get, the more positive reviews you get, the more credible you are, increase those rates. So regularly, every 6 months to a year, be recalculating and choosing a new hourly rate for yourself, because it should be going up over time. A little side note here, keep in mind, if you have expenses from freelancing, you will want to include that in your calculation. Personally, I really don't have many expenses because I already own my camera, my tripod, and my lighting, bought them 5 years ago, like I'm set. I do pay $10 a month for editing software, and that's about it. So keep in mind, depending on what service you're providing, if you have expenses, you need to keep that included in your calculation. So let's say you want to make $50,000 a year after expenses, but you have $5,000 a year of expenses, then use the number $55,000, because you really need to be making $55,000, all right? Then remove the expenses when you're doing that reverse calculation for your hourly rate. Also, don't forget that that number doesn't include your future savings. Do you want to be saving up money in your account? Do you want to be saving for investments, saving for real estate properties, saving for your 401k, saving for healthcare? All of those things you should also tack onto the total. So let's say that you want to have $15,000 a year in addition for savings. So instead of $50,000 a year goal, you would increase that, you would add that on. So now your goal is $65,000 a year to make. So you also have that buffer for some of those savings and expenses, like paying for your healthcare and such. All right, I know this is a little complicated. If this is over your head, that's totally fine. Like I said, instead of doing a calculation, you can just choose what you want your hourly rate to be, perhaps by Googling what the average hourly rate is for whatever service you're providing, okay? You can keep it simple. Now, I want to mention that as a thank you for staying through the duration of this video, I mentioned I have a freebie for you guys today. And that freebie is this free Canvas spreadsheet to help you guys with breaking down that yearly goal into an hourly rate. So you can go to the link below in the description to get the link to that free Canva template. That way it's a lot more clear and easy for you to do your own calculation for your hourly rates. And you can use that every 6 months to a year to redo it each year. All right, so the final and third mini lesson today, I wanted to teach you guys about how often to adjust your prices over time, right? Just as a corporate job would hopefully give you a raise each year, you want to do the same for yourself as a freelancer. So my number one tip for you, if you are a new freelancer, is start with your rates very, very low, like lower than the competition, lower than most, and keep them low until you've gotten at least five-star reviews. Once you've got a couple orders on your belt and some good reviews, then you can increase your prices more to kind of that average range. And then I would keep them at that average range until you have at least 20 great reviews. Then put the prices up to what you feel you're worth and what you really want to charge. Keep in mind that on platforms like Fiverr, you can go into your gig, edit it at any time, change your rate at any time. So it's very easy to do whenever you want, but I do recommend at least every 6 months reassess things, recalculate, and decide if you want to increase your prices. You know I'm a list girl, so I've got a list for you guys of other reasons why you might want to increase your prices over time. One of which is there more demand than you're able to supply? Meaning, is there such a demand for your service that you don't have the time, you are spread thin, you can't complete all these orders in time? Then that's a good sign that, hey, let's increase those prices again, weed out some of those smaller orders that aren't as serious, and really focus on the higher quality orders and the higher quality buyers so I can make more money with each order. Another sign that it's time to increase your prices is if you have over 20 or 25 great reviews. Another sign is if you have very little competition for that specific service that you offer, then you can increase prices more often. If you're very specialized in something and not many other people offer it, then go ahead and charge more. Another reason you may want to increase prices is if you have invested money into an additional certification, training program, course, and you've learned to become better at your services, then you may want to increase prices to cover the cost of that investment, and also because you are now more of an expert in that specialty. And finally, another sign that it's time to increase prices if you got a promotion. For example, on Fiverr, you can go from being new, level 1, level 2, top rated, and pro. So if you get promoted, then go ahead and celebrate. Give yourself a little raise with your hourly rate. Like I said, it never hurts to just reassess things and increase them. Test things out, experiment. Try the price increase, and if it works out to your benefit, great. If it decreases sales and you are noticing a decline, then maybe it was too soon and you drop them back down. So we've gone through a lot today, you guys. I shared with you all about like different payment styles you could choose from, how to calculate your rate and your worth, as well as like when to increase prices over time. A lot goes into making this decision of how much to charge for your freelancing services, and hopefully now you have a better idea of just everything to think about when coming to your decision. So we will wrap up today. I want you guys to know that it is mid-December and I've got some exciting things coming up in January for you all. In 2023, the Freelancer Academy is launching, opening its doors so that if you are ready to take your freelancing to the next level, if you're brand new to freelancing and you want to have some mentorship, guidance, support, and also 10 weeks of very detailed video lessons guiding you on how to build your freelancing business from the ground up on Fiverr.com specifically, which is like the most popular one, then take a look at the Freelancer Academy. It is coming soon, you guys, and there are limited seats. This is the first round, so I only want to take a small group of people so that I can really ensure that every single person in the group has success and is getting in their orders quickly as a freelancer, so that by the end of the course and mentorship, they are feeling super confident and independent as an online freelancer. So stay tuned to learn more about TFA as that comes out next month. And if you are sort of interested, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds like something that I think would really help me to have that accountability, to have that support if someone asks questions and get feedback for, because like I've tried listing gigs and they just sit there and never get orders. Like I feel like this would really help me, right? If you feel that way, then get on the wait list now. There's no commitment. It's simply saying, hey, I'm interested and I want to be the first to know about when the doors open and what sort of deals you're offering. So for those people on the wait list, you early birds, you're gonna get $500 off and so many other great bonuses. So go get on the wait list now at stephdoworth.com/waitlist to make sure that you get that seat if you want it. Also, in January, I'll be hosting some live workshops to help you guys get creative and figure out exactly what you could sell as a freelancer online. You don't have to sell video creation like I do. There's thousands of things that you could sell as a freelancer. So let's hop on a live workshop together, and as a group we can brainstorm and I can share with you hundreds of ideas of things that you could sell that are fun, that you're passionate about, that'll make you some good money. So this is a really like creative workshop in which you're just going to be like buzzing afterwards with all of these ideas of like what you could make money doing online. It's going to be super fun. So follow me on Instagram at Steph Dorworth. That's where I'm going to share more about those live workshops and how you can sign up for them and join me there. All right, you guys, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. It is currently December 2nd as I film this, so I don't feel quite in the holiday mood yet, but as you're watching this, you're probably like really getting into the holidays. So I just wanted to say happy holidays to you guys and stay tuned for 2023 because there's lots of amazing stuff coming next year to help you all make more money in 2023. All right, thank you for being here, and as always, peace and love.